All right, we are going to be taking a look today at the best defenses in the National Football League.
Yeah.
That's the subject of the draft. It's not an Andrew Luck-inspired draft. No, we continue our break from the Andrew Luck talk. We've done best offenses. Today's best defenses. Chris, as you know, and as anyone out there who's been watching for the past couple of weeks knows, the coin toss
is
has
done.
been
I just dominated it.
Rigged. It's rigged. So now the trivia question is rigged.
Right.
Which team in the NFL allowed the fewest yards in the league last year?
Ooh. Defense, obviously.
You don't allow yards on offense there, Texas. What do you
Baltimore Ravens?
got? That was not convincing. That was not convincing. You got it right.
They gave me the wrong answer sound. I was like, damn.
No, you got it right.
Can you change that sound? I got it right.
That's the wrong answer sound. That's the right.
Oh, that's the right. The first one.
I think it sounds like we got a text message. We need a better you won sound.
Yes, you're right. Both are like Debbie Downer sounds there. Come on, we could do better than that.
All right, you get the first pick, boss.
Yes.
You're right, and I feel like you.
That was too. Well, that was too easy. I pay attention to stuff like that way too. I was just going through stats from last year and looking at it, so it was right there. I don't have it here in front of me, but I looked at it not long ago. So sorry, that's poor planning on stats. That's stats' fault, right?
Yes.
Yep, screw you, stats. Bad job by you.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to the Chicago Bears. I know that Vic Fangio's not there, but I don't care. This is still one hell of a defense. I got to go with them. I mean, just some of the people they have up front, whether it's Eddie Goldman, Akeem Hicks, right? Huge size in the interior D-line. Oh, yeah, and then maybe one of the best linebacking cores in football when you get to Khalil Mack, Leonard Floyd, Roquan Smith at middle linebacker, who's looked really good in the preseason. Watch out for him. And then you get in the secondary, and you got guys like Kyle Fuller, who's one of the best corners in the game. Safety plays top-notch guy, playmakers like Eddie Jackson. And I think Chuck Pagano is a hell of a defensive coach. I do not think it will be a huge drop or any drop at all from what we saw in Vic Fangio. I still think the Bears are the cream of the crop in my eyes.
Yeah, I think that's an obvious first pick because of how good they were last year. Even with the change in defensive coordinators, this Bears defense is still going to be very good. The question is, can the offense perform at a higher level to allow both sides to come together? And It's always both sides that come together that determine how good a team is. And, as the saying goes, it's the best defense is a good offense, right? But I'm not going to go quite that far.
Yeah.
But in Jacksonville, if the offense is better, the defense is going to be better. And I'm going to take the Jaguars. Just top to bottom, everywhere you look, everywhere you turn, there are star players. And I am so excited about the arrival of Josh Allen, the 7th overall pick in the draft. For the second straight year, there was a Josh Allen as the 7th overall pick in the draft. Although this one doesn't play quarterback. He's the defensive lineman that the Giants left on the board when they took Daniel Jones. He was all over the place against the Dolphins in that preseason game earlier this month, and it's just got the potential to be great. And they've got guys like Miles Jack, and they've got Jalen Ramsey and AJ Bouye, and I really do think, and Chris, we talked about this a lot last year, some disenchantment in the organization because of the double standard that applied to all the players not named Blake Bortles. They would make apologies and exceptions and excuses for Blake Bortles, and the rest of the team was held to that very high standard. And I think this year that's not going to be the case, and that defense is going to be free to play better. They're going to feel better about themselves, and the offense is going to put them in better positions. They're not going to feel like their backs are against the wall because their offense can't move the ball and can't score points.
I can't disagree with anything you said there. I mean, Jacksonville's defense is special. I mean, I think you could sit here and argue that it's more talented maybe than the Chicago Bears defense that we just talked about.
Then why didn't you pick them?
Well, I'm going with the Bears because I think I like their scheme a little bit more. You've heard me complain sometimes about Jacksonville where their scheme is very simple. They kind of just say, hey, this is what we do and deal with it. And I respect that. But it puts pressure on them, especially against some of the really good offenses in the game. So that's a good pick by you. I would have gone, if it was role reversal, I would have taken Jacksonville first. It sounds like you would have gone Bears first. Okay, my next pick, I'm going to go with that number one defense from last year. I'm going with the Baltimore Ravens. I am. I mean, I just think with some of the things they got going on in the secondary, first off, I mean, Earl Thomas, getting him there in the back end to go along with Tony Jefferson, Marlon Humphrey, Jimmy Smith when he gets out there healthy, Brandon Carr. I know they lost C.J. Mosley, but there's a lot of good linebackers on this roster to begin with, okay? And the big thing with me, with the Baltimore defense, is just their incredible size up front. They are never outmatched against any team they play. Now, the big question will be, can they get some guys that can rush the passer off the edge? I don't know for sure. I'm not definitely confident in that. They have a lot of guys that I really respect who play that outside linebacker position. Tyus Bowser, Pernell McPhee's going to be there. But the big thing is, I know they have a defensive coordinator in Don Wink Martindale, okay, who did phenomenal last year, and he's very creative at finding ways to stress out pass protection. If they're hurting as far as one singular pass rusher, he'll find other ways to get after the quarterback. I got to go with that Ravens D.
Yeah, look, that's not a bad choice. I mean, they have undergone some transition, and they are going to be plugging in some new pieces, and they need to hope that they can be better than they would otherwise be when you just look at the losses versus the gains.
Yes.
But Earl Thomas, that was one of those surprise moves that we should have seen coming. Like, it's the perfect team for him to play for.
Perfect fit.
And we didn't realize it until the word emerged that they had paid him a ton of money, despite that leg that was broken twice, to bring him to that team. All right, I'm going to stay in the division.
Oh, baby.
And I'm not going to Pittsburgh. I'm going to the city from which the Ravens came. I think the Cleveland Browns defense this year,
baby,
vastly underrated when you consider the star potential at the two most important levels. All due respect to the linebackers, and hey, Chicago Bears, you got great linebackers, but it's defensive line and secondary. The rest of it can be handled. Jimmy Johnson always felt that. The interior offensive line and linebackers were replaceable. The defensive line and the secondary are the key. Myles Garrett, Sheldon Richardson, Olivier Vernon,
strong
along that front four, and Denzel Ward, Greedy Williams, and Demarius Randall playing safety. Morgan Burnett's still there, but Denzel Ward was great last year. He needs to be careful about the concussions because he had a few too many last year.
Yes.
But he and Williams could be great shutting down outside receivers. Garrett is ready to come into his own. There's been some periodic complaints from him that Greg Williams last year would not let him be what he wants to be and be
limit
what he
him to
needs
pass
to
rush
be.
moves.
Yeah,
right?
And I think that defense, and again, especially with a good offense.
Yeah.
A good offense is going to make a defense look better.
Yes. There is a lot of potential there. I don't think I would have picked them necessarily. Okay. But I hear what you're saying. Added to the fact, Mike, I'll bolster your case. I think Steve Wilkes being there is a great thing too. Steve Wilkes, hey, their defense was not bad last year in Arizona. A little bit like what you said, the offense was so crappy. It put their defense in a lot of bad spots. And also Steve Wilkes had a great track record in Carolina before that. So it's hard for me to go against that. Ooh. Now I don't know.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one.
It really is. I don't know where I want to go here, but I'm going to go with a proven commodity and somebody I trust, okay? I'm going Sean McDermott in the Buffalo Bills defense. Yes, I am. First off, I'd just like to remind everybody that the Buffalo Bills were the number 2 rated defense in football last year, only behind the Baltimore Ravens. Passing yards per game, they led football in passing defense, okay? Run defense, they were middle of the road. But they got a guy like Ed Oliver, okay, on the defensive line. Let alone it's guys like Tremaine Edwards. Is it Tremaine? I always forget him and his brother. I always mix the
Terrell Edmonds and
Terrell Edmonds. Yes. Which one's in Buffalo? Terrell or Tremaine?
I don't know. You're the one that picked
Tremaine.
The Bills defense.
Tremaine's there, but he's phenomenal on that side of the ball. But really, the big thing I look at is a deep defensive line. Okay, Trent Murphy, Star Lotulelei, Jerry Hughes is still there. Shaq Lawson's a backup. Jordan Phillips is a backup. Harrison Phillips, who they like to be their new, Kyle Williams type of guy. That makes sense. Lorenzo Alexander's there, Mike. And then the secondary might not blow you away with names because they're not a man-to-man defense. This is where McDermott comes into play for me. McDermott's, I think, one of the best game plan schemers on a week-to-week basis in all of football. And I say this because of this. They don't play man-to-man, but, man, if there's 3 receivers to the left, man, McDermott, he scouts them out, and all of a sudden 7 of his guys are all over there where the quarterback wants to throw it. He's great in playing tendencies and figuring out offenses. And guys like Tre'Davious White, Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde, they're good players. They know how to play. I'm going to go with the Bills, even though they might not be as sexy.
It's funny. When you started to say you were going with the proven commodity, you made me nervous that you were taking my 3rd-round pick that I had been sandbagging, because there is one truly proven commodity defensively in the National Football League. And who would you say was the best offense in the NFL last year?
Well,
top to bottom. Top to bottom.
Oh, well, top to bottom? I don't know. The Kansas City Chiefs came right to my mind, but who else am I missing? I'm
who
choking.
beat the Kansas City Chiefs in a shootout that was supposed to be in Mexico City?
Well, the Rams, yes, sir.
Yeah. How many points did the Rams score in the Super Bowl?
They scored 3.
Yeah, I'll take the Patriots.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. It's Bill Belichick, and he's always going to move those chess pieces. And Stephon Gilmore is the only name that really stands out, and he's the one guy that they paid market value to. And I remember when they signed him as a free agent, people were like, oh, my God, why are they paying him so much money? They've seen him twice a year for 5 years.
Yeah.
They know a good player when they see one,
yes,
when they have to get ready to face one on a regular basis. So this is a team where Bill Belichick is always going to take those pieces, put them in the right spot, put them in the right position, come up with the right game plan, take away what the offense does best, coach his guys up, take full advantage of the rule book, do everything he possibly can do. And, there may be some hiccups along the way, and statistically they may not be great, but at the end of the day, winning versus losing, playoffs versus no playoffs, advancing versus not advancing.
I get you.
Really, even with the Chiefs, look, the Chiefs scored 31 points in the AFC Championship game.
But it was by unbelievable plays by players, not the scheme beating them. I'm going to bolster your case, okay?
Thank you.
The name of the game is scoring points, and they don't ever let people score points. That's New England. Hey, we go down and Brady scores 7. You go down and you score 3. We go down and score 7 more. You go down and score 3. And all of a sudden you look up and you go, man, the game's even, but we're losing by 8. And then the game's even, but we're losing by 12. And it just continues to go on and on. And it is the defensive game planning, and they are one of the best secondaries in football.
And the point you made about what they did against Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Man coverage underneath with a safety supposedly over the top who was constantly assigned to double Tyreek Hill.
He played the single safety. It looked like it.
See that all year long this year by the team.
Who knows what you see by them? I know. So you're taking the coaches there with it, like me with McDermott and the Bills. I get you.
That's why I thought you were taking the Patriots.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Do we have a quick recap that we can throw up on?
We left the Cowboys on the table.
Yeah, we did leave the Cowboys.
And the Eagles are another D. I'm looking for a big improvement this year.
Only 3 rounds. I mean, if we wouldn't have taken so long on round 3, we could have done a 4th round. You got the Bears, Ravens, and Bills. I got the Jaguars, Browns, and Patriots. I win. You lose.
Get out of here.
Sucks for you.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.